You ever find yourself regretting and wishing you had done something a couple of years ago? Like, oh, I wish I bought that house 2 years ago. Oh, I wish I hadn't left that relationship, or I wish I left it sooner, or I wish I started writing 2 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 1 year, or 6 months ago, whatever it might be. Or I wish I started creating content because I've always wanted to do it. You wish that you had actually faced your fear. But why don't we do it? Why do we have those regrets? I think it's because this fear that we make up in our minds that doesn't really exist. This fear of being judged from the people that are closest to you, this fear of looking weird, looking cringe, this fear of not knowing what to say, what to do. You're afraid that, oh, if I did that, I will look weird. And this person that I really care about sees me as somebody who has it all together. So we want to maintain the perception of how we've been so far. But we don't understand that when you're doing something new, it's okay to suck. Well, honestly, it is very real to suck because you've never done it before. Of course, you're going to suck. Of course, you're going to fall when you start learning how to walk. Of course, you're not going to be that good, but you don't get good without doing it. So those sucky reps, the reps that you're going to suck at, are a prerequisite for what you're trying to do. But this fear of judgment, this fear holds us back. And we stay in that bubble that we created for ourselves, a bubble that feels cozy, a bubble that feels comfortable. And it's easy to just stay there. It's very easy to blame that relationship for not allowing you to do things. But why do you need permission? Why don't you just allow yourself to become the person that you want to be? Why can't you give yourself the permission to start the journey that you always wanted to walk, to take that first step? Let's imagine whatever you wanted to do, you started doing right now. And I understand right now, maybe you don't want to do it right now, maybe you want to start tomorrow. That's just how we take years to do the things that actually took minutes, because we always want to start tomorrow and the tomorrow never comes. So let's just say that you actually started to do that thing by tomorrow, or in 7 hours, or soon. You actually started to do it. You actually did. You took the first step. Now, instead of fearing the fact that, hey, if I started to do this thing that I really wanted to do, they may not like me. Now, instead of thinking and being in our heads, now we can actually get to the facts. Oh, I started doing my thing. Now you can ask the question, did they support me or did they make fun of me? If they made fun of you, then they were never your friends. And congratulations, you found it out the easy way. You did your thing and your friends didn't support you. So that shouldn't mean that you give up your thing to keep the friends that don't support you. So now you have a better stat on your friends. But on the other hand, which is more likely to happen, is that they actually do support you. And that's going to be freeing because now you're not trying to be somebody else. Now you can actually be yourself and still be accepted by people who actually are closest to you, love you, care for you, support you. Now, all of a sudden, you have a team. You have the people who you can fall back on. If the thing that you did didn't work for some reason, you have at least the people who genuinely care and support and want to celebrate your best self. But you wouldn't know anything if you never got out of this head of yours, because you would always think, or you would always fear what they would think of you if you actually did the thing that you wanted to do. And maybe there's already something that you are regretting that and wishing that you had started 2 years ago, or you've been wanting to do for so long and haven't done it yet. It's not worth waiting 2 years to find out if your relationships would accept your best self or not. I say it's very important to find it out right now as soon as you possibly can. Because why would you want to stay in the wrong relationships if they don't support you, if they don't want the best for you? Why would you want those relationships? Why would you want to put yourself in a container where you feel small every single day, where you can't breathe, where you can't, be yourself? Why would you want to do that to yourself? Because isn't the whole point of a relationship is to thrive? The point of a relationship is not to shrink. That's for sure. So if you find yourself you're shrinking, it's not because the relationship is bad, it's because you don't know what it might look like when you actually just try to be yourself. And that's when you do actually try to be yourself and start to express and do the things that you actually are interested in, that's when you'll know if this relationship works or not, if that person supports you or not. And then you can make a decision from there on. Because if that person does support you, you stay. If that person doesn't, you find somebody who does. Instead of spending years and extending this one moment into years and wasting and then having regrets at the end of that relationship or whatever.